we started ground driving, I started with a halter since this is what Charis was familiar with. I used a lightweight kid's saddle in a single line since I was in an enclosed area. I had to practice the deliberate withdrawal of one arm accompanied by the extension of the other arm. I chose not to use a surcingle because the lines easily flip over the hindquarters. The stirrups prevent the lines from flipping up. The movement of the fenders and the pressure of the cinch prepares her for the eventual first ride next year. I eventually moved Charis into a bitless side pull. This allowed for more lateral movement. I wrapped the noseband with foam and vet wrap to prevent tenderness on her nose. I tied the driving lines using bowline knots. Once Charis and I had the basic concept of ground driving, we focused on more technical movements, such as yielding. I began teaching this in a square pen by stepping in her left eye and using a bump soften rhythm with my right rein. I rewarded the slightest step. This method was repeated in the right eye. We eventually moved to a large arena and yielded around cones. Ground driving is a way to teach my filly to listen to my signals and turn left and right with subtle rein pressure. When I was confident that I had control of Charis's feet, we moved to walk poles. Our next step was to challenge ourselves with more complicated obstacles. This is a good example of how I taught Charis to think rather than react. She was hesitant at the water box, but I allowed her time to think, and she went through. While backing, I let Charis back a few steps and asked her to settle, then asked again. When you have control of a horse's mind, you have control of their feet. After schooling on the trail bridge and stepping into a trailer, a red oak block is a continuation of controlling the feet on a smaller platform. Stepping up with the front feet is easy. The control comes in with holding the fronts while the back feet come up. The next natural step was to drive Charis with a lightweight sulky. I consulted with my vet, who said exposure would be fine without any weight in the sulky. I wanted to expose Charis at an early age so that later, when I do train her to a cart, the basic training has already occurred. This training took place in an enclosed arena. Charis was very well prepared for this event and was calm and non-reactive as expected. The grand finale was transporting Charis to the Virginia Creeper Trail, a local horse and bike trail, to practice. I switched to split driving lines since we were in the open. Charis was desensitized to a drone that would be recording the footage. For safety, there were spotters in front of me and on each end of the bridge to hold bike and walking traffic. This day was an amazing day as it was the culmination of the hard work and the relationship that Charis and I developed during the young horse development.